Good morning. Happy Monday. How are you all doing? I hope that things have settled down after the disruption of the snow last week, and I hope that you are having a very motivated, magical start to your next week. We've got Mother's Day to look forward to at the end of this week, so that's going to be really it's a nice thing to have, isn't it, in your diary? I hope you'll have to let me know what you've got planned for it, because I'd love to hear what everybody else is doing. Luke's booked us in for a meal with his mum in a place called Hawes, which is where the Wensleydale Cheese Factory is. And it's beautiful. It's really lovely. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. And I've no doubt that I'll be sharing photos on my social media of that one. But this is 31 Days of Magic. And I am starting the week with a bit of an apology because I wasn't able to turn up last week. For I think it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I was really ill. I had a manic week last week, and I ended up having a big old chat with my business coach about something that I really, really want to launch. And I'm going to do it, a 12-week in-depth course for your social media, where I will hold your hand as we completely transform your social media. So I know what I want to do. I know what we're going to be doing every week, but it's fitting in the time to actually pull that course together and then plan the promotion campaign, the social media campaign, which of course is my area of magic. It's my zone of genius. So I know I can do it. It's just sometimes you have to actually ask yourself, how long is this going to take me? And can I fit it in the hours that I have in each day? And unfortunately, do you know what? I just can't at the minute. And the reason for that is because my son, James, who you've met, is home on a Thursday and Friday. So I work very part-time hours. And I think what I've decided is that as much as I really want to do that course, and I will be doing it in September, so give me a shout if you want to know some more, now is just not the right time for me. I would be rushing it out and I wouldn't be giving it everything that it deserves. So I made the decision last week that I would postpone that and get myself back to focusing on these wonderful planning workshops and special training workshops that I've been doing and really, really enjoying. And basically, I finished my phone call with Sam. I went and bought a McDonald's as a treat, and I sat down in front of the telly with a McDonald's, and I started to feel really tired. And I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to give myself a bit of a rest this afternoon. I can always do some work this evening. I fell asleep at 5:30, and I woke up the next morning feeling really ill. And it was almost as if the universe was saying, right, you've made the decision. You don't need to keep pushing yourself. Take a break. So part of that break was taking a rest from lives, and that is one of my key things that I like to talk about with social media, is making sure that you have the right balance. You shouldn't feel like you have to be on it all day, every day, to get anything out of it. And my goal is to help you find the right balance so that you can spend less time on your phone working on your social media, more time focusing on the areas of your business that you actually want to be in. So I thought that I would share that story because I wanted to highlight how important that idea of conservation is. So for those of you who haven't seen it, I do have a really nice blog on my website, The 4 Cons of Social Media. So normally we talk about the cons of social media a lot because it does have several drawbacks, one of them being how much time you spend on it, how much time we waste on it. I want to make sure we're not doing that. So for me, I'm going to flip that mindset. And rather than thinking about the negatives of social media, I want you to be thinking about the positives of social media. So the 4 things that you can focus on to make it a much better, much more successful experience. So the 4 things are, we begin with confidence. So first of all, you need to work on your confidence. Now, if you've signed up to my 52 ways to wave a magic wand over your social media pages email list, then you will have had weekly tips all so far this year, giving you ideas on how to work on your confidence. Those tips have a sort of shorter version of those tips has also gone out on my social media. So if you ever scroll down my Instagram, you can have a quick look through those tips, all focusing on how to build your confidence. And a lot of that is around getting your profile exactly the right format, in exactly the right layout to be able to make the most of it. You're giving people the right information they need to find out about your business. There's lots of other things about feeling confident in your business message and your business goals. But confidence is the first thing I want you to make sure you've got nailed. The second one, and this is my favorite, my area of magic, is consistency. By that, I don't just mean turning up and posting every day, because that might not be something you can manage. Look at what happened to me last week. You might prefer to go for 3 times a week, 5 times a week, whatever fits with you. That is where we want to find the consistency, because for me, the more important thing is not about posting loads of times. It's about posting consistently with your messaging. So making sure that you make sense to your audience, that you're giving them a coherent, consistent. There was another con that I thought of the other day. Excuse me. Making sure you're giving them a consistent message. So you're telling them about the ways you can help them and the same things over and over again, so they get that idea and you become the go-to person. So consistency is absolutely the thing that is going to make the difference for you, but I want you to make sure you're confident first. Those 52 ways emails, by the way, if you're already signed up, you will now be on the consistency. So we're starting to work into that next stage of transforming your social media now on the 52 ways email list. If you haven't signed up to it, just pop over to my website, which is www.contentplanningwizard.com. You'll get a little pop-up box. You can enter your emails, and that is completely free. So we've talked about confidence, consistency. The final one that I talk about is connections. And that's when you have got everything else lined up. It's all working really well. And you're pushing yourself out there even further, getting out there and actively seeking out your ideal client. We'll be covering that later in the year. But the reason I was talking about the 4 cons is I wanted to highlight the conservation. Somebody said when I first mentioned this, I don't really understand what the environment and recycling and things, the environment has got to do with social media. It kind of has, in a weird way, because it's all about saving energy. Saving your energy. So making sure that you have the right balance. And if you do need a break from social media, make sure you take it. So actually, me taking a step back, I spent more time on Twitter, which I don't normally, but I actually had a really nice time connecting with people and chatting with people because I'd stepped back from pushing myself into work stuff. And I knew that I had my scheduled posts going out because I'd done my content planning. So a little reminder from me today that you don't have to spend all day, every day on social media, and you need to put yourself first. But getting down to the crux of it, my 31 days of lives this March. So I did miss a couple last week. I'm going to make sure that I double up at points on this week. But in fact, one of those will be tomorrow. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But today's prompt, you may notice that I am wearing a very special t-shirt today. It is my football club, Ipswich Town. I was born there. And even though I actually grew up from the age of 8 in Cambridge, my dad used to still take me back to Ipswich for the games. My dad's a massive Ipswich fan. He inducted me into the world of football, and we used to travel every Saturday morning back to Ipswich to watch the games. So they are the true loves of my life. They were there before any of my boys. Julie said Tractor Boys, yay. I love the Tractor Boys. But yes, so they are my special ones. They are something that just brings me so much joy. And there's a lot more into it than that as well. I helped them with the Her Game 2 campaign last year. And I've been very involved with writing about women in football in relation to the club and things like that. So it's something that I feel a lot of passion for. But the big thing for me is that on football days, I get to be Amy. I am not Mummy. I am not the content planning wizard. I am just Amy. And I love having, again, that balance. So you can see why I've been banging on about conservation and work-life balance. It all ties in today. Saturdays, football days is when I get the balance. And I would love to hear from you what you got up to this weekend, what you've got planned for Mother's Day, how you are planning on getting some work-life balance this week. What hobbies have you got that you can share with your audience? So for me, I talk about football, and actually weirdly, my posts about football were the most popular posts in 2022. Now, I would have said, without wanting to tap into any stereotypes, most of us mummies, most mummies aren't necessarily interested in football. I think that as much as I want to change that, I think that probably is the way. I think that's a fair thing to say. Those of us, if you are a football fan, by the way, please give me a wave, because I love meeting fellow football fans. But yeah, so it was surprising to me that when I posted about football, actually it got a really good reaction from my online army. And what I think it is that it gives you an insight into me. It helps you start. I think if you said to anyone who knows me, give me 3 words to describe Amy Downs, you would get football, Harry Potter, and wine, without people having to think about it very hard. And I think that telling people about my interest in football, even though they may not have an interest in it themselves, they get to know me. And it's that know, love, and want to support me factor. And I'm sure you will have heard of know, like, and trust. For me, it's about building relationships. It's not just the trust. It's about more than that. It's about becoming part of a massive online mission, you making a difference in the world and them becoming part of that. So sharing the football, it's just sharing another element to me. But what I always do when I post about that on my work stuff is make sure it relates to the business. And the way it relates to the business is about me having work-life balance. I was able to take the weekend off because I knew that I'd done all the content that I needed to on my social media, and I was feeling really comfortable. On a side note, I need to get today's post sorted, but I have used social media to get my work-life balance in my business. And I am getting the right work-life balance at the moment, which is really, really nice thing to be able to say. So what I am giving you as a content cue today is a hobby. I want you to tell me what you love doing outside of work. Let me know in the comments as a bit of a starter, but then I want you to share it on your pages, on your with your audience in your group. Get people talking. So perhaps I could do a post in my group today that says, "Hi guys, I was at the football this weekend. Tell me one thing that you do when you're not working on your business." And that, I promise you, is a really great way to start relationships, but build engagement as well. So that is today's content cue. As I say, because I missed a few last week and I'm determined to hit the target of 31 in March, I'm going to double up on some of the days in the coming weeks. And one of the days will be tomorrow. Because on a Tuesday, I have Ask Amy Anything, which is live in my Facebook group. Some of you will be watching in the Facebook group right now, but if you're not, it is Content Wizards. If you put facebook.com/groups/content wizards, or just search Content Wizards in the box, you will find me. Come and join us. Tuesdays, we have a weekly Q&A. So you get the chance to ask me any questions you've got about social media, and I will come and answer them. So you'll get a post in the morning where you can ask your questions, and I will come on at midday, and we'll have a bit of a lunch break together, and we'll have a chat about any problems that you're having. I know that you will be facing various different things going on when it comes to social media. There can be any number of things that are stopping you from feeling like you can post online. And I want to stop that. Whatever it is that's holding you back, we will work on it together and we will overcome it. And my weekly Q&A is one way of doing that. So in a random turn of events, I'm actually quite warm this morning. I think now the snow's gone, spring is starting to come. So I'm going to go and crack open a window, get this cloak off, which is clearly keeping me very warm. And I'm going to see you all tomorrow. So I'll do this content cue, 31 days of lives in the morning, and then I'll give you an extra bonus content cue tomorrow during my weekly Q&A. Please do let me know if there's any ways I can help you with your social media. I've got some really exciting things coming up that I can't wait to share with you. But anyway, thank you to those of you who have joined live, and if you're watching on a replay, do let me know, do say hi. Speak to you soon.